For many of you, it would surprise you to learn that Lauren Blackman and Tyler Blackman even live in the same universe, let alone the same household. But for those of you who did not know that Tyler somewhat reluctantly calls me his sister, you'll know that Tyler and I are different. People are always asking me and my little brother if we are just as smart as Tyler, to which we always reply with a very stern no. But after a bit of investigation, I finally have an answer as to why we are so different. Tyler Blackman was breastfed. You're all probably wondering why the heck this matters. But scientists have recently proven that if one child is breastfed while the others aren't, the breastfed child will do significantly better in school. All I have to say to this is, thanks a lot, Mom. If only you had breastfed me, maybe I could be going to the school of my choice and not having to cram for the math test I have next period. Okay, my life could have been so much easier. Oh well, I guess life goes on. So, Tyler, quirky brother of mine, have fun with all the other breastfed siblings at Yale next year. I guess I'll miss you a little bit.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I salute you, Mr. President, the Honorable Chief Justice. I pledge allegiance to the flag. There she is, Miss America, our Father who art in heaven. These are the sounds of our culture. Sounds which have placed an invisible wall between the haves and have-nots, between the powerful and the powerless, between those in authority and those under their control. But what is this invisible wall that keeps us from treating our authorities as equals, and why is it there? The answer lies with an idea that we have so optimistically termed respect. That we must bow to the decision-making of those in authority. We as a society have built up this idea of respect so powerfully that it has begun to affect the way we view history. Respect is so ingrained in our very culture that we don't realize the possible consequences of such language as yes, sir, no, sir. Such language makes our role in society very clear. Those in authority are right. You are wrong. That's it. End of story. But that philosophy, of course, leaves no room for change, no room to question their reasoning. But are those in authority, be they teachers, politicians, parents, ministers, are they always right? Well, we need only look at the earth that my generation is inheriting. We have allowed our authorities to saturate the environment with pollution to an almost irreparable degree. We have raised an entire generation that does not know what it means to drink responsibly because we refuse to teach them. We have waged an all-out war on drugs that, in its effort to protect us, has only made the problem worse. We discriminate based on sexual preference out of prejudice, not reason. We have developed a strange sense of morality that aligns pro-life with supports of wars of aggression, torture, and public executions. We lecture other nations on the value of human rights while waterboarding alleged criminals in Guantanamo Bay. This is the work of a supposedly trustworthy authority. So what's the solution? Maybe we all need to grab our pitchforks and go out and rebel. Don't fall into that trap. Rebellion for the sake of rebellion is just as naive as blindly following those in authority, and is just a call for attention. We honor and admire the legacy of Mohandas Gandhi, not because he was a drunkard or a drug addict, but because he chose to disobey those rules he deemed unjust. In leading Indian activists in his famous Salt March, he knew he was breaking British law, and in fact, he was thrown into jail for disobedience. But he did it anyway, and history has hailed him as one of the greatest human beings that ever lived. Gandhi, breaking the rules before it was cool. We see the same reference in America's own civil rights movement. To this day, Rosa Parks is one of the most celebrated rule breakers in all of history. By refusing to give up her seat on a bus in Alabama, she was pushing the human race forward, hoping to create a more racially tolerant America. Even today, the same struggle lives on in the civil rights movement of our generation. Just 2 years ago, a lesbian student in Mississippi wanted to bring her girlfriend to prom, but the school said no. No, that's not allowed. But she refused to follow the rules. She said, no, I will not stand for injustice. No, I will not live in an America that discriminates based on sexual preference, because I believe in the words, all men are created equal. I believe in the words, liberty and justice for all, and so she broke the rules. Because even if she got into a little bit of trouble, she knew she was standing for justice. One of my favorite quotes is by a man who loved to push the envelope. Steve Jobs. He says this: here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the one thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. As a society, as students, as teachers, we must learn to entertain the possibility that maybe, just maybe, people in positions of authority are wrong. Because in the end, history will judge you not by the rules you choose to follow, but by the rules you choose to break. May we all have the courage and the wisdom to break the rules.